I am with Gov Partners, LLC. I'm the founder and CEO. And I want to talk about starting a small business, but really kind of just talk about the 4 C's and what the 4 C's of starting a business are. What I'm trying to say is there are core values that you need to have when you're starting a business, and it's just like the quality of a diamond. So your business has to shine bright like a diamond. So the 4 C's of the quality of a diamond are cut, clarity, carat, and color. And it's just the same for a business. For a diamond, you have to determine what the quality and the value is based on the 4 C's. And no 2 diamonds are alike. So for your business, you want to have those 4 core C's, which are commitment, cash, capital, clients, and customer service. You want to make sure that you are valued by those 4 C's and that you are not like any other company and that you stand out and your product or services that you are selling are, kind of stand out above your competitors or set you aside and you have a niche. You have to balance these 4 C's. So for a diamond, for example, you have to balance the carat weight with the cut, clarity, and color. For your business, you want to balance what your investment is, which is your commitment and your cash, with your clients and your customer service, which is the return on your investment. So if you balance those properly, your company will succeed. If one falls short, it'll kind of affect everything else. Why are the 4 C's important? Because defining your brand is important for the quality, and it's critical. Just like when you're buying a diamond, everybody wants that shiny, bright, diamond that is valuable. And it makes you feel good knowing that that diamond on your finger has a very good value. Customers want to make sure that they are buying into a quality company. So it's quality service and also providing financial stability, superior reputation, and growth. So I'll start with the 4 C's, and earlier Alexandria talked about the 3 C's, so it's kind of fitting that we're still staying in that 3C, 4C category. But for the first C, which is commitment, you have to be ready to jump in with both feet. So some people will think, I can start my business part-time while I'm working for another company, or I can kind of get things going while I'm still doing something else. And it might be a hobby and not really something that you're passionate about. Sometimes those work if you want a business to just kind of be something that you set aside to do part-time on a full-time basis. But if you want to really start a business that's going to grow into a sustainable business, you have to put that full commitment in. So you have to jump in with both feet. You have to determine that I'm going to do this full-time. I'm going to put all of my energy into this business, and it's got to be my passion, and it's got to be something that you are passionate about and that you are really committed to doing. It's like anything else. If you are going to be working for another employer and you're starting your business part-time, you're going to be giving your business 50%. You're going to be giving your employer 50%. And neither one of those scenarios is acceptable to you or to your employer or to what you want to start for your business. So for the cash and capital, there are many ways that people want to start a business with the cash and capital, and that's always kind of the issue that you have when you want to start a business is like, I don't have enough cash. I don't, how am I going to get going to get all the things that I need? And many people turn to loans, and there are many options through SBA and other banks and scenarios. But for me, what we decided to do is, years before I started the business, I did not want to rely on a loan, and I didn't want to rely on a partner for an investment, because your partnership has to be someone that shares your vision, shares your goals, and also has a personality that you want to make sure that you are also like personalities. So for me, I said I'm going to start putting away money every month in a kind of slush fund, which is the Gov Partners slush fund. And I said, I'm going to set a time and a date for my goal of when I want to start the business. So instead of taking out a loan, I put money aside in the savings, and kind of like a little 401k for my business. and put together a strategic plan of when I wanted to start the business, and so I'm not going to touch that money. It's, this was my baby. So it was the college fund for my baby. So I put that money away, and with full support of my husband and family, and we kind of went on that plan. So once I was ready to start, my employer knew that I was planning to start a business at some point. And so I committed to working with them for 3 years and said, this is my goal. In 3 years, I'm going to actually, start this business because it's my dream and my passion. And that's what I did. So it worked. And at the time, my employer said, "Oh, wait, no, you don't want to leave now. How about you just stay for a while?" And I said, no, this was the deal. I did everything that I was supposed to do for you. So I really want to branch out. It's time. So they became my first client. They said, "Okay, well, how can we become a client so we can still work with you?" So that's another way to transition into clients, is to always have some kind of start in transition clients that are ready to be your clients because they've worked with you and they know that what your capabilities are. So if that's your existing employer, or if that's clients that you've worked with in the past, or through referrals, friends, family, whatever, make sure that you have that network that of people who know what you are planning to do and have a need for your services. So that transitions into this slide, which came up before I was ready for it, but we'll talk about it, which is clients. There are also sub-Cs. So 4 sub-Cs of your clients is making sure that there's a value for your customer. Is there a need? You want to sell something and you want to have a business, but if no one has a need for it, it's not going to be successful. So you have to really understand that there is a demand or a need for what you are trying to sell, whether it's a service or a product. And if there is a need, who else is in that space? And what will you bring to the table that's different? And how will you be able to transition that into not just a product, but a brand and a company, or not just a service of something that everybody else is doing in a job, but a service. And then cost and price. Obviously, you don't want to sell something to someone and talk about just, what the price is. There has to be a value. And if you're thinking about it, it's like, if I'm going to buy that service, what would I pay for it? What's the value to me? And then that would tell you what your customers are going to think of that value. What's the convenience of it? Is your service convenient, or is it a hassle to buy? You want to make it as convenient as possible for your customers, because if it's really difficult for them to do business with you, they're going to go somewhere else. In this day and age, with all the technology, mobile apps, social media, it's becoming more and more convenient for customers to buy off of the internet. And you want to make sure that you have all of that technology, that you are able to make it as easy as possible. And then communication with your clients, communication, setting the expectations, knowing what you are really providing, what they think you're providing, and setting those expectations up front, so that you are making sure that you are providing them what they think that they're getting. Anybody here watch Shark Tank? Oh yeah, well, yeah, good. Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. And Barbara Corcoran's on that show. Obviously, she's one of the sharks. And one of the things that she has said, which is very true, in business, you're a chief salesman. Create a sense of demand rather than waiting to have a demand. So you want to always be in front of what what your clients need, instead of chasing those opportunities. You want to create those opportunities. So making sure you understand who your clients are, who the market is, and what they want, and then deliver to that need is important. And then the last, but the most important C of the 4 Cs is customer service. Gov Partners has a tagline, and it's prepare to win, perform to expand, and we've trademarked that. And a lot of our clients ask, well, what does that mean? That means exactly what it says. You have to prepare to win. So you have to do all the research. You have to determine who your market is. You have to determine if there is a demand for your service. And then once you do and you get that client, then you have to perform. You have to make sure that you are performing to the expectations, you're delivering what you promised. And when you do that, you are actually increasing your client base because you have a happy client who is going to be a repeat client or will give you referrals. And for us, we were lucky enough to have 96% of our business was from referrals when we first started. Because we had clients who would say, oh, you need to have a GSA schedule completed, or you need assistance with government contracting, call Gov Partners because they helped us with XYZ. So we were getting a lot of referral calls because we performed to expand. We made sure that we were providing what we said we would provide to our clients. So performing to expand and managing those expectations for our clients is critical to customer service and client growth. So there's a lot of information about how you start a business and what you need to do. But once you get into it, there are a lot of things that you learn that you think are great and that you thought, well, this was supposed to, I was supposed to do this. But then you realize, well, maybe not so much. So there's a lot of lessons learned. So once, shame on you, twice, shame on me. If you make a mistake, you own up to it. Everybody makes mistakes, and your clients don't expect you to be perfect. In the government contracting arena, in the government world, there's a lot of, subject matter expert or SMEs. For me, I don't really ever use that term because I think that expert is a very strong statement because you're always learning. Everyone is always learning. Industries are always changing. There's always new information. So in order for somebody to be an expert, they have to be specifically always on that, update and changing. And so for me, you have to just say, we are going to always make mistakes as a business owner, as a business, and you have to just own up to the mistakes and admit it. Now, you can do it once, shame on but if you do it twice, then shame on you because you should be learning from those mistakes and putting corrective actions in place. It's okay to say no. You should never you say that you can do something if you know that you can't do it, or if you don't have the manpower to take on a project because you're busy. It's okay to say no. Maybe refer another company that you you've teamed with in the past, or you've worked with, or you feel that can handle it, that you trust. But don't take a project on that you know that you cannot finish, because that goes back to the customer service and performing to expand. It will ruin your reputation, and clients will remember that. And it just takes one client to talk to someone about how you did not service them properly, and that information gets kind of going around. So it impacts your customer service. Not all good customers are good customers. That was a lesson that we've learned the hard way. We are specifically in the transportation space because my background, I worked with a lot of different transportation companies in the government procurement sector. But when I started Gov Partners, our goal was to help all small businesses to navigate through the government procurement space. So that was every industry. And I brought in people that had some of that experience that I didn't have. So we had customers that were in the healthcare industry, the IT industry, and there are different personalities. And sometimes your clients may have a different type of personality than you have, and their expectations of what they need to do are completely different. And sometimes they take a lot of your time, so you have to determine, this is how much time is being spent with this client, and this is how much revenue we're getting in. And if those are not on the balance, like the 4 C's of the balance, then you're going to be losing money because time is money. So if you have clients like that, then you need to determine, is this relationship working? It's just like if you're, have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, if the relationship's not working, you have to say, it's not working. So not all clients are good clients. And we've had, it's not a fun place to be when you have to, tell a client, I think we need to, kind of sever relationships because it's not good for you and it's not good for us. This is not working for X, Y, YZ reasons. And, they will understand and respect you more if you are, kind of making sure that you're not taking their money, because you certainly don't want to take somebody's money if you're not going to help them. Confidence, experience, and knowledge are key. So if you have a passion and you have the experience in what you are trying to sell, it will come across. So if you are, if you are in the, if you're an engineer and you're trying to, sell something that's in, the transportation sector, someone's going to say, well, that quite doesn't make sense. So you want to make sure that you are, kind of in a business of something that you have experience in and you have a passion for, and that confidence and experience comes across when you're talking to potential clients and clients. Do what you say, and don't overpromise and underdeliver. So that goes back to, the once shame on me, twice shame on you. So you want to make sure that you deliver what you said and you're able to deliver what you said. Business is a relationship, so trust is reciprocal. It's not just one way. You don't always just rely on your customers trusting you. You have to trust your customers also. So if you are entering a relationship and, for example, for us, we have to say, if we're going to work on a project, we need a dedicated program manager on your side or a POC that we can go to for, X, Y, Z. We're going to need this from upper management for commitment to get this contract. If all of those things up front are said, yes, we'll do that, and then midway we find that, no, we're not committed, or we don't have this, or we didn't have these certifications that we thought that they had, that kind of starts the relationship on the wrong foot. So it's a reciprocal trust. You have to trust your clients have to trust you, and you want that relationship to continue on. So it's not just one-sided. And it's also okay to make a change. If you don't take corrective actions, you won't improve. And every small business, when they're starting, always has room for improvement. So you want to constantly tweak your processes and your procedures to make sure that you are making the changes necessary to improve for the next project or for the next client. So here's a few of the things I think are must-haves for starting a business. Plans. All businesses have to have a plan. And as a small business, you don't have to have a robust plan that's 100 pages or 200 pages that nobody's going to read. You just really need to have a guide of what you want to move forward with. So you have to start with a business plan of what the roadmap is going to be, and then your strategic plan of how you plan to get there, what you need to get there, and your marketing plan. You need to market to bring in clients, so you need to have some type of marketing plan. And then once you get those clients, you need to have quality control measures in place. So you have to have a quality control plan. And then operations plan. Once you get contracts or you're working for a client, you have to have standard operating procedures that you want to put in place. For processes, within those plans, you want to have a process for managing your programs and projects and your standard operating procedures as well. And then people, you're only as good as the people that work with you, so you want to hire people that know more than you do. So that is really key because, for a business owner, you have to determine what your strengths and weaknesses are. You know that you're not a master of every different department. You might not know, you might be great at marketing and sales, but you might not be good at operations or HR or managing people. So you have to determine what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then balance that with bringing in people who complement that and not overlap what you already have strength and strengths for. And then also make sure that they are learning from you and you're learning from them. And so there's also the reciprocal trust of having employees that trust you and that you trust. So I'm fortunate enough to have a great team, who's two of them are sitting back here. That's Jeff and Liz, who came here today, who work with me and really kind of complement, my weaknesses and help balance the strengths as well. And then patience. It's one thing that I have a weakness, which is patience. You have to exercise a lot of patience, and especially in the government contracting world, because the cycle time is much longer than a lot of other opportunities. But you have to exercise some patience, and that goes along with managing your clients as well as kind of making sure that all of the goals that you have for your business are set out. So sometimes things will take longer than expected, but you have to stick with it. Profit, obviously, unless you're a nonprofit, you're starting a business to to make a profit. So you want to make sure that when you are pricing and you are bringing in all of your resources and infrastructure, that you have a balance and you know exactly how much cost is going out the door versus how much you're bringing in, and you're managing that cash flow proactively, and you're looking 2 years ahead versus on a day-to-day basis, because you don't want to ever see that red. You want to always be in the black, and even if you're in a black by a small percentage or margin, you still want to make sure that you are making some type of profit. And then projections. Always project ahead. Know what the market's doing. Know what the market's where it's going to be. Have someone research and make sure that you know what your competitive landscape looks like, what changes there are for the market. Most of our business comes from international operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we have a couple contracts in Afghanistan, and we know that all the troops are coming out. So that bulk of our business is going to be kind of fizzling down after 2016. So we've had to restructure our marketing plan to accommodate that. Instead of trying to pray and hope and cross our fingers that Obama's going to change the plan and keep them in Afghanistan for a longer period of time. If that happens, great. That should be extra revenue, but it shouldn't be the only revenue that we're counting on. So we make sure that we are looking ahead and we're planning to replace that revenue with other business versus just kind of waiting for that business to go away. And then the should-haves. For me, when I started, I felt a little bit alone. I was like, oh, this is so overwhelming. There's so much to put together. There's so much going on. And when you're trying to balance starting a business and you're bringing on clients and you're managing the clients, and then you're also trying to find that extra support and labor, there are so many variables and balls in the air that you sometimes you go home, and I would go home and I was just like, I don't want to talk. I just want to sit here and have my brain shut off because it was overwhelming. And it helped to have a mentor or other entrepreneurs that were in the same boat. So I would talk to one of the other entrepreneurs who actually was a marketing and branding company who was just starting her business at the same time that I was. And she helped us brand our website, our logo, and all of our collateral materials. And we would meet for coffee or lunch, and we would kind of vent and bounce off information with each other. And we found that some of the problems and issues that she had, and how she solved them helped me, and vice versa. So it helps to have other entrepreneurs that are in your board to just kind of bounce things off of, and it helps you learn things. And I know that with Tia, as another fellow business owner, we have shared those type of conversations as well, which has helped me. The use of resources, Alexandra talked earlier about SBA and the resources on their website. That was really helpful for us, and also helped us refer a lot of the information to our clients who were starting they're getting into the government sector. And our chambers, we joined our local chambers, and they were helpful with helping us hire employees for contracts, putting us on job fairs, having job career fairs. So our chambers have been really helpful, and they're a good resource to help small businesses grow. And I think it's very important that everybody has a media presence and has a website. A lot of companies will think, okay, well, I don't really need a website. But I think that, I don't know about you, but every time I meet a new company and they tell me their name, the first thing I do when I get to a computer or on my phone is I look for their website. I search for them. If they don't have a website, then I kind of forget about them. So a website is really kind of your branding, and it's kind of your street cred to say, yeah, I am an established business. And it doesn't have to be, again, a robust website. But one thing I think is important for it is to have search engine optimization. I paid for some great search engine optimization, and what that helped us do is bring clients to our website. So we were getting a lot of inquiries about through our contact us form about help through the SEO optimization. So I think that that's key if you're starting a business and you want to bring in some clients who don't know about you or are not through referrals, to be able to help with your marketing and branding. And then social media presence. How many have here has a LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, personal or company? Both? Okay, yeah, good. I think social media is so, it's such a good free marketing tool. It's free. You can get your name out there. We use it a lot. I will say that it doesn't bring a lot of business, but it does help people know who we are. We will go to functions and someone will say, oh yeah, I know Gov Partners. I saw something, I'm following you on Twitter and I saw something you posted of the quote of the day. It also helps us find information about our clients and also information about our competitors and what's going on in the market. So we're able to search through some of the social media to do some of our research to determine where we need to be, who we need to target, what the needs are, what's going on in the industry. Collateral materials, good, just one-page handout would be great to just kind of show your brand and be within the marketing and the branding. Company email and phone. If in some of the government contracting worlds, some of the contracting agencies, if you don't have a business account, sometimes you can't get into some of the systems if it's Yahoo or Gmail. So some of them legitimize you by your email and attaching that to your company. So it's good to have an @Gov Partners or an @xyz.com email address just to also legitimize you. And obviously a phone, you don't want phone going to a personal phone message system that doesn't say that it's a business or just says leave a message. You want something that's professional, that if they do get an answering service, it tells them that they're getting your company and they can leave a message, and then also returning their calls right away is helpful. Credentials, if you are a small business, you want to take advantage of the SBA certifications, whether you're just a small business or you're a small women-owned business or a veteran-owned business. Take advantage of those certifications because, like Alexandra said, there are set aside government opportunities, and then also prime contractors who are other businesses will need to do business with you or someone with your certifications as a part of their subcontracting plan to meet their goals when they are priming large contracts. So it's good to get those certifications, whether you self-certify or you go through the 8A certification, or for the veteran-owned, you have to also have some secondary certifications as well. But those are important. Experience. Gain your experience through working with other companies. You can team with other companies if you don't have experience right away, that you can get your own business. Teaming with other companies that have a need that are like services is a good way to start. So you can start building up your experience through subcontracting versus just trying to go after things on your own. And again, what I said earlier with the startup clients is, if you have an existing employer or other referrals types that you can bring in as startup clients is a great thing. So all of these things are what's helped us, and I just wanted to end with some of the information that helped us become who we are and give you a little bit of information about who we are and what we do. So Gov Partners, we were founded in 2009, and so we just actually celebrated our 6-year birthday on April 15th. Tax day, so thank you. So it was a bittersweet day. It was tax day, but it was our birthday, so we had a couple margaritas to celebrate. But our goal was initially, and that's what we started the company, we saw a need, I saw a need for companies. As I was working for other companies, trying to find teammates to help us with our government contracts who had specific certifications and qualifications, it was hard to find. And through phone calls and I couldn't find like a site that said, here's these companies who have these certifications that you can team with. So I wanted to start something to do that. I said, there's a need for this. And I was working with like Northrop Grumman and Raytheon, and they were like, oh, we need a company that does this also. Can you find someone who does this? So I said, let's start. I want to create a database. So I hired an IT company to build this database, to team prime contractors with subcontractors in the government area, so that they could easily find each other, kind of like a Match.com for government contractors. That was the goal. And so as we were launching this system, all these companies were calling us, but they were like, oh, we need help with submitting this RFP. We need help with, this GSA schedule. We need help with, this. So they needed the full service, not just the teaming aspect. It's like, okay, now what do I do? If I find, a great contract to team with, now I don't know how to, submit the RFP. So, we said, okay, we're going to actually, kind of service that need, because there was a big need for it, and do everything from A to Z, and take all of that burden off of small businesses and also large businesses who just didn't have time to do it. So we said, okay, we're going to become like the government services arm for our clients. We'll do everything that they need to do to get that contract, service that contract, and then manage that contract. So that's how we started. And that was the primary focus. And we've been very busy and very fortunate, because it's, it's kind of a niche that we've developed. And even though we opened that up to all different types of companies and different industries, we have really focused on the transportation sector because of the experience and the referrals and our clients that have come through. So the majority of our clients are in the transportation sector. And we actually saw a contract. We said, okay, now we are to the point where we have so much past performance experience. We've passed that 2-year mark. We have experience. We're going to actually do a GSA schedule submission for our own GSA schedule to do business with the government. So we were on the MOBIS schedule for GSA, and there was a contract that came up for the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, and we submitted a bid, and we won over an incumbent that had had the contract for 8 years. So then we started building our own business, not just helping other clients with getting their government business. We started developing our own business. So we had, we tried to have that balance, so all of our eggs weren't in one basket. And once we started servicing MWA, we determined this is a niche that we can develop. We can develop a niche to be the evaluators, specifically in the transportation sector, for all transportation companies. So we decided in 2014 to spin another division, which is the Customer Intelligence Analyst Division, CIA. And we trademarked the term for our observers, covert travelers, because that would set us apart from the traditional mystery shopping companies that everyone thinks of when they think of these evaluations. And we are now in the transportation sector as covert travelers. So we're continually branding and moving to where the market demands are. We determined now we're going to have a balance of where the covert travelers the demand is, which is in this sector, and we're going to balance the two so that we have a good balance of business. And as the market is shifting for the Afghanistan contracts, and moving out, and then what's going on in Africa, determining what's happening in the government contracting world, we have a balance of our own contracts in this other division that we can make sure that our revenue continues to be at the same level or higher, and we continue to make a profit. So these were just some of the milestones that are here. And that's my presentation. Thank you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.